That means you're ready.
Yeah, that means you're live.
Hi, social media.
Hey, guys.
I'm tired, but they make me do a radio show, so
I did. Drug a video.
I got to do it. But I'm exhausted.
My mic's not even on.
Your mic's not on. Now it is on.
Hello,
Yeah.
everybody.
So welcome to Going on the Air Live with us right now. You ready to start the show?
Sure.
Okay.
Now, Behind the Law with Justin Clark and Allie Mack on ESPN 580 Orlando.
And welcome to the program. It's another edition of Behind the Law right here on ESPN 580 Orlando. My name is Justin Clark. Thank you for spending your evenings here with us on our favorite sports radio station. Don't forget, you can watch the show at Behind the Law Radio on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, any social media platform. You can watch us right there as well. Also, 2 TV shows every weekend for your viewing pleasure. Saturday mornings, or afternoons technically, 12:30 p.m. on CBS. It is You Have Real Estate with me, attorney Justin Clark. And on Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. on TV 27, our sister station, it is this show, Behind the Law, but it's Behind the Law on television. A fairly empty room today. The only person joining me today to my right is the OG Brianna. So I guess I can go back to just Brianna today, or beautiful Brianna today, huh?
Think you be hitting on me.
It's not, trust me, it's not that.
That'd be weird.
We work too closely together to do that. But so today on the program, we're actually going to skip Stump the Clarkie because I would be playing against myself if it's just the two of us.
Which would be awkward.
That would be very, very weird. But we are going to talk about your IRS debt, other types of debt, and we're especially going to hit on student loan debt, something
Yes,
that
please.
everyone's afraid to give you advice about student loans because, honestly, no one knows what the hell they're talking about when it comes to student loans. And fortunately for you, our law firm handles many, many cases for people with student loan debt. If you have any questions throughout the show, the phone number right here in the studio is 321-282-1055. So we're going to talk about student loan debt, IRS debt, credit card debt, all sorts of debt, and how to deal with that debt, most importantly.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we can talk about your debt, but if I don't give you any solutions, you've just sort of wasted an hour of your life. But before we do that, my understanding, Brianna, is you are the founder of a brand new company.
What?
Tell me about this.
You are the founder.
Well, I mean,
of
you're
a
the
brand
founder
new
too.
company.
We're a founder. See, don't you think that light changes colors? Pay attention during the show. So what you guys don't know is we have a studio here because we have to do the show on TV and it's on social media, whatever. And we have lights, almost like we're in a television studio. But I swear on my life, unless I'm losing it, which I could be,
You could be.
that light continues to change colors. Unless it's because I'm bending down and it maybe that's
And
it
it
too.
dims
Look,
a
just pay
little?
attention. Let me know if I'm nutso or not nutso.
If the light's fading in and out, just comment. Let
Yeah,
us know if that's
please.
happening.
No, I'm talking to you.
Ah.
You let me know if I'm crazy or not.
Probably not.
Yeah, anyway. So tell me about this new company.
So we have come together to rebrand and find Limitless Marketing Concepts, which is a full-service marketing company. We tried to go for something a little bit more boutique, and then everyone just kept asking us to do all these other things. So here we are.
So what's it called again?
Limitless Marketing Concepts.
And I'm part owner with you, right?
You are.
Sweet. I'm glad you guys included me in on this deal.
Hey.
So what kind of marketing do we really do?
So we actually focus on 4 key areas. So we work on marketing, and that includes all facets of marketing, from digital marketing, social media. We do website development, website design, website management, branding. So we'll work on your business cards, your logo, and as well as advertising. So Google ads, Bing ads, digital ads, as well as billboards and any other sort of advertising that you want to do.
Beautiful. Let's say that I want to consider hiring you to market my business. How do I reach out?
Well, you can reach out. You can find us online. It's limitlessmarketingconcepts.com, which is extremely long.
Yeah, it
we
is.
have a shorter one.
What is it?
Go limitless.marketing.
I mean, it's not that much shorter, honestly.
Go limitless.marketing. You can also give us a call, 407-476-0532, or just shoot us an email, info@limitlessmarketingconcepts.
I get kind of annoyed. What do you call these like .com things? What do you call that?
Domain.
The domain. I get really annoyed. So
Like
now
the domain
there's
extension?
Yeah, now there's .marketing.
Yeah.
Because I know there's
marketing.
.legal.
There
I
is.
don't know how I feel about that. So now I actually own a business that has a .marketing.
Hey, if you guys go to justin.legal, guess
No.
where it's going to take you?
Where? I own that too?
Maybe.
Jeez.
Somebody probably bought that
Who
for
approved this? I don't remember approving this at all. And now I'm business partners with you.
you. I don't know who approved it, but I mean, you know.
So
Visa.
here's my understanding. I understand that we're trying to bring on board like an amazing website guy. Is this true?
Yeah.
And so
we,
have you struck a deal with him yet or not?
not quite yet, but we do have some pretty great in-house talent here. We just hired on our used to be social media intern, and he is now with us full time. And we are working with another one of our interns to negotiate a deal for him so he can come on board and be our website guy. Because and he doesn't just do websites. This gentleman's portfolio is outstanding. Websites, logos, just you name it, he can figure it out.
Daniele, what do you
Daniele.
think? Can you hear me? All right, well, what do you think, man? I mean,
trying
my
to
understanding
ignore
is
you.
she's trying to strike some kind of deal with you. Why don't you get on this yellow mic? I want to ask you a couple questions, first of all. It's Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. We're trying to put an intern on the spot to make him a regular employee.
Sorry, Danielle.
You know, look, Limitless Marketing has limitless opportunities for you. Let's go
Absolutely.
with yellow for you, sir. So, all right. First, yeah, it's okay. Now I'll adjust it a little bit, and then I'll turn you back on.
Yeah.
I don't want to break my eardrums or the eardrums of our audience here on Behind the Law. All right, Daniele, how you doing, man? First of all.
Good.
All right, so you're the website guru, I understand, right?
Yes.
Then you know Brianna has created this new company called Limitless Marketing Concepts, right?
Right.
So has she talked to you about bringing you on board, or what's the deal?
She has.
All right,
Yeah,
and you guys
we're
are
in
still having this dialogue? I mean, is there anything I can do to help? What do we need to do to get you? What do you think? What's the holdup?
I mean,
Is it financial disputes? You're already
yeah,
holding out for more money?
negotiating, you know.
Are you still negotiating? So what's the next step in our negotiations? That's what I want to know.
It's almost like buying a house.
Yeah?
You know, you put an offer in, you get a counter offer.
Okay,
And then it's almost like you're playing tennis.
I see.
And that's sort of where we're at right now. But we have one more meeting after this show where we're gonna
okay. You mean after the show today?
Ali and
deal.
I are gonna sit and talk and
What is the next
to
generation of websites? I mean, should people use WordPress, or what are they using anymore to really develop their own website?
I mean, there's quite a few. I mean, obviously you can have it custom made, which is obviously a lot more expensive than if you would go the route of WordPress or Squarespace or Wix. There's a lot of options these days.
Let's say someone hired us, Limitless Marketing Concepts, to develop a website. And I realize it depends on pages and things like that. It's a startup business, right?
Right.
It's not super exhaustive. What do you think a good price is to really develop the website for my business?
A good price.
$2,500, $5,000. Give me a number.
easy now.
$10,000.
Brianna normally handles the pricing.
Okay,
I'll be
what do you think? I
honest.
mean, what does a website really cost a small business owner just starting out? Give me an
Just-
idea.
Just starting a couple $1,000s,
All right.
honestly, is what most people pay for, which is why they're going to places like Squarespace, they're going to places like Wix, where they can try to do it themselves and save a quick buck. However, doing it that way, it does end up costing them in the long run, potentially, because
And the wrong one.
in the long run.
Why does it cost you? I mean, so I'm trying to save money. What's the benefit of having you do it as opposed to?
Because if it's not your
One of these-
skill set, you
Yeah.
know, when we build your website, we make sure that it's optimized in search engine optimizations. It's able to be found on Google and other search engines, and things like that you might not necessarily be able to do had you made it yourself.
All right. Well, Daniele, if you need any help in these negotiations, I'm right down the hall, right? You know,
Thank you,
you know where to
thank you.
find me. I'd love to have you on board, just so you know. All right.
Appreciate
Thanks for
it.
joining us. All right, I'll let you get back to work. I know you gave me a
Thank you.
look like I don't want to go on the air today. That's fine. So Brianna, why would you put him on the spot like that anyway? That's
I know.
messed up. I mean,
So rude of me.
that's terrible to
I
just
am
like bring him
trash.
over here
What did I do
and put
that?
him on the spot. So you're working on this?
We're
Okay.
gonna
so
make this happen.
all right. So make it happen, will you?
No, I'm trying.
What, is Ali involved in the negotiations?
I mean, that's
Okay.
I'm not gonna say anymore. We're
That's
live.
the holdup.
No. You said that, not me.
Oh,
you
man.
Said it.
But it's Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. We're going to talk about your IRS debt, maybe even filing bankruptcy if you're paying too much in credit card debt. And what about those kids that are graduating college right now? It should be a very happy time in their life. But if they've gotten student loan debt throughout their college, they're really scared about finding a job and about finding out how much money they're going to have to pay per month to pay off these student loans. I mean, I meet people all the time, Brianna, who come in here, I'm a dentist now. I'm a chiropractor. Do you know what the average student loan debt they really have is when they come see me?
Chiropractic?
It can be $300,000. I mean, we're talking about more than a house. And unlike other types of debt, student loan debt is way, way more difficult to deal with than like American Express or Wells Fargo or your mortgage. Student loan debt is completely different to deal with. I'm going to explain to you what your options are when it comes to dealing with your or your family member's student loan debt right on the other side of this break. It is Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando.
Sorry, Daniela.
That was her. She looked at me like...
She looked at me. I
She
didn't
gave me
even
a
make
look.
eye contact with this man. I did not make eye contact with him. So, speaking of websites, have you even been to our website?
I'd see it now.
Have you?
This is the first time I've...
A, it's a great website. B, we sat down as a team and we got together 9 core values that like we're gonna use to guide the culture of this business.
Right.
And they're pretty.
Who came up with the
badass.
core values?
The
You
team
or
did.
who?
The team?
The team? I mean, I like what we're doing. I do. All right, you ready?
Yeah. I would like to keep you as hands off as possible.
Thank you. Works for me.
It just works. It'll work out.
Hands off is
Yeah.
good.
Now back to Behind the Law with Justin Clark, right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
Welcome back to the show. It is attorney Justin Clark with you on Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. If you have any questions, 321-282-1055. You can also watch the show. Follow at Behind the Law Radio on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, any social media platform. Brianna is here with me running the board today.
Man, I'm.
What?
Phew.
Where is new Brianna again? Is this her first day off?
This is. She's sick though.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you know my feeling on sick.
Oh, absolutely. Don't call it the same day.
Is it? Did she
because-
call today or
God forbid.
was it yesterday?
No, she called out today.
What time of the day would you say that she called?
It was earlier this morning.
Because my belief is, as a business owner, and I have no doubt about this, when you get a call, when you see someone the day before and everything's perfectly jolly, and then you get a call the next morning with either car problems or I'm not feeling well, it is complete and utter, 90% of the time, BS. That's the way I see it.
Really?
I mean, do people really get that sick overnight where they can't come to work?
I don't know about sickness, but I mean the car issue. That's
No one has car issues.
what?
Do you know how cheap Uber is?
I mean,
There's no such thing as a car issue that makes you miss a whole day of work anymore. It happens all the time. I have employees all day long say, "Oh, we're having car issues." I'm like, "Really?" I mean, what?
I just
it's
let you guys
another-
know I'm working from home. but
Another
hey,
flat tire? I mean, seriously. Uber was $8.
I'm not
Uber.
cranking. I'm not coming in. I'm gonna work from home.
But when you confront them and say, "Oh, I'll pay you for your Uber," they're like, "No, I need to go to the shop and deal with the said car issue now." I'm like, "Okay, whatever."
Aw.
But anyway, I don't really care. I understand people need a day off every now and again. I don't really get mad. I get mad that they think they're getting one over on me. I'm like, look, I know exactly what's going on here. You had a fun night or whatever, or you're just, stressed out to the max. I understand. I'd rather you just tell me that than I have another flat tire. Another one? Really?
You know, true story. My car actually did stop on the way into work one day. And I think I called you and I called Ali and I was like, hey, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it in. This is where I am. And he asked me to pin drop my location
Really?
and he came and got me.
That's why I like having Ali around. He wants to make sure that you're having legit car issues.
So it was funny because the tow truck guy showed up before Ali showed up. And I was like, no, you have to wait until I need him to see you tow the car away. So he knows I'm not making this up. You have to wait around.
So let's talk about student loans for a minute because I fully believe that the two main financial issues that we're dealing with in this country right now, and the two that are going to blow up in our face are student loan debt and health insurance.
Okay.
All right. There's no doubt in my mind. I deal with families all day long, families who are even making good money, middle-class families who are making good money, who cannot pay their bills every month. They simply can't do it. There's not enough money coming in because they have to pay health insurance. The average cost for health insurance for your family is around $1,600 per month. Now, this is a lot of money, $1,600 per month for health insurance. And then on top of that, we owe money to American Express. We got to pay the mortgage. We have the college. We have everything. I mean, the money there's not enough money to go around in people who are making even a decent living. And now we add on top of it, you went to one of these terrible colleges. I hate to call them a college, for-profit institutions, let's say.
Do it.
In 2008, 9, 10, the economy collapsed. You might have lost your job, and you said, well, this is a great time for me to go back and prolong my education to try to make a mountain. No, what do you make lemonade out of lemon? What do you say? What's the saying? Come on.
Turn those lemons into lemonade.
You turn lemons into lemonade. So you're gonna say, oh, this terrible financial economy, I got fired. I'm gonna turn this lemon into lemonade. And we all like lemonade. But what happened is these terrible colleges, for-profit institutions, sucked you in because they were all over these job hunting websites in 2008, 9. You're on Hot Jobs or you're on Monster.com, and all of a sudden these ads kept popping up. Come to our school. We guarantee you $80,000 a year as soon as you get out. And we're going to get you student loans where you're not going to have to pay any money. In fact, you're going to have money left over after you pay the tuition from the student loans. You're going to have money left over to live on. Might as well, they're saying, because you can't find a job anyway. This is what they told us in 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12 even. So we went back to these schools. I'm not even talking about your kids here, your kids who are getting out of college. I'm talking about those of us who are 40, 50 years old. We went back to school. It turns out half of these schools shut down while we were there, or half of them, the degree isn't worth, you're better off taking that diploma and starting a fire with it in your fireplace in the living room because it's valueless. It's not worth anything. But you know what is still sticking around? The student loan debt. It's very likely that you have at least $80,000 in student loan debt if you went to one of these schools. And unlike other types of debt, student loan debt is not dischargeable in bankruptcy, generally speaking. We're working on some programs here in our bankruptcy court in the Middle District of Florida that will allow us to go to mediation. Right now, if you file Chapter 13 bankruptcy and you own a home, but you're in foreclosure or your interest rate is too high, you're sort of automatically eligible to go through the mortgage modification mediation program. We're one of the first bankruptcy districts in the nation who we're about to start a program, a very similar program, to modify your student loans by filing bankruptcy as well. So you're going to want to continue following this show for updates on how we can really solve your student loan problems by filing bankruptcy. But other than that, if you really want to discharge your student loans by filing bankruptcy, you almost have to show that you're totally disabled. That's almost the only way to completely discharge the student loan debt. However, bankruptcy can do a lot of things for your student loan debt that doesn't include just getting rid of them altogether. A lot of people who come into my office are already getting their wages garnished, or you're getting your IRS refund taken. We're all very happy when it's IRS refund season. We're going to get the $3,000, the $4,000, the $8,000 back from the government, and we count on that money as our savings account for the year, or we count on that money as our get new tire fund, or we count on that money as our one-time-a-year vacation fund. People count on those IRS refunds. Generally, when the student loan that you haven't been paying is going to take that, they probably sent you a letter to some old address or something, but most people don't know they're going to take it. They're just like, IRS, where's my money? And IRS is like, oh, you're not getting it.
You're not getting
We're sending it to the Department of Education. You're not seeing a penny of that. And it's very hard to get that money back, but it comes as a surprise. So if you do have student loan debt that you're currently not paying, you need to get out ahead of it. Because much like IRS debt, student loans don't have to sue you. All they have to do is send a letter to your employer and they start taking your wages. 25% of your money every week or every 2 weeks is going to be sent immediately to the student loan company. And then it's hard to overturn that. It's difficult to get that to stop immediately, and you're counting on that money every 2 weeks to pay your bills. So it comes as a surprise to a lot of people, but student loans do not have to sue you. They just have to send a letter. And student loans also can just send a letter to the IRS and start withholding your pay as well. So be very careful when you owe money to student loan companies, because they will ultimately find you and track you down. and garnish your wages and garnish your tax refund. The good thing is you do have options. We have options available right now. Bankruptcy is something we look into. It's not likely we're going to get them discharged, but there's certain things that we can do through bankruptcy to stop the garnishment and come up with a program to make sure they're not going to ruin your life, essentially. But there are other programs as well. One of the biggest programs that we use to deal with someone's student loan debt is called an income-based repayment program. And these get complicated, and they make it seem easy when they call you, say, oh, just send this in, blah, 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 and boom, 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 you're done. But it's not. You need to take into account, are you married? Are you filing taxes separately or together? What are your expenses like? Because really, it's what we present to the student loan company that's going to dictate what your payment is. So if you just send them everything like they're asking you for, they're going to dictate exactly what they want you to pay. If we can strategize a little bit about how to present your financials to the student loan company, to the Department of Education or Navient or whoever's really handling it at the time, we can strategize beforehand and try to keep that payment minimal. I mean, look, at the end of the day, if we can keep your credit clean and give you a payment of $0 or $50 a month, it's not going to hurt as bad. And let's make no mistake either. If we are not paying our student loans, it's going to show up negatively on our credit. And there's nothing more embarrassing than going to make an offer on a house and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, wait, we can't qualify because I have student loan debt. Student loan debt is something that's very important, and it's something that you never want to bury your head in the sand in because it can really come back to bite you, and it will come back to bite you. So I want you to give us a call. If you have any student loan debt at all, 321-282-1055. Attorney Justin Clark here. Plenty of information is also on the website, designed by Limitless Marketing Concepts and the beautiful Brianna, which is youhavepower.com. Plenty more just ahead. It's Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando.
Hey, Danielle, how's the internet over there? Jeez. Didn't have just said.
All right. What am I talking about now?
Just talking about bankruptcy. Let's do it.
Huh?
Now back to Behind the Law with Justin Clark, right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
Welcome back to the show. Another half hour ahead of Behind the Law with me, attorney Justin Clark. Thanks for spending your evenings here with me. You can watch the program at Behind the Law Radio on any social media platform, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Check us out right there. Also, 2 television programs every weekend for you to check out. 12:30 p.m. on CBS, Local 6. It is You Have Real Estate with me, attorney Justin Clark. And Sunday mornings, TV 27, 10 a.m., it is this show, Behind the Law, but it's Behind the Law on TV. Again, 10 a.m. on TV, 27. Fairly empty studio today. To my right, it is the beautiful Brianna. I can call you that now.
Sure.
Well, because I can't when the other Brianna's here, because if I call you the beautiful Brianna...
She's going to get offended.
She's going to get offended, because
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, what am I, chopped liver over here?
Absolutely.
Right? So she called in sick today. No big deal. Look, it happens, right? I mean, it's not like we haven't done a show by ourselves before. It's not like the
Honestly.
first time this has ever happened. Right?
This is.
What?
This is the
We've never done a show together? For real?
Yeah.
Come on.
No.
I
I'm
didn't know
serious.
that. Well, that's why you're so nervous today, huh?
I'm like, who's going to ask me?
Man. I know.
Bringing in interns. Like, what you doing?
321-282-1055. Before the break, we were talking about how to deal with your student loan debt. And just let me summarize that really quickly. The point of the story is if you owe money or your children owe money to their student loan companies, be on the lookout, because at some point, wages are going to be garnished and tax refunds are going to be garnished without anyone having to sue you or really even notify you, because that's just their right. Please call us before that happens, 321-282-1055. There's also information about this on the website, youhavepower.com. How is our website now, by the way? We should really update it or take a look at it. Is it pretty good?
I think we should take an update. Yeah.
Most people say it's pretty good, but I feel like we could always make it better, right?
I feel like you've had the same website for a minute now, so I think it's time to.
I think it's time to refresh it a little
Let's
bit.
do it.
Good thing we own a marketing company now to do that.
I know, man.
So how do you feel about the marketing company, really?
Pretty excited.
All right, tell me one more time about this, because maybe someone's listening right now who owns a business and they really do need help with their marketing strategies.
Absolutely. So Limitless Marketing Concepts is a brainchild of you,
Look, I don't
not
know.
so much,
Yeah.
myself and our other partners, but it's full service marketing company, marketing, branding, advertising, everything from digital media to print media. So it's, if you're a small business owner, we actually are offering small business owners a free business booster pack.
The heck does that mean?
I know.
No, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. What does that mean?
It means that we're going to promote their business on the radio. We're going to give them a free social media analysis, as well as give them a free social media 7-day posting schedule that's
Sweet.
unique to their business. And the only way they got to do to claim that is just to send us an email, info@limitlessmarketingconcepts.com.
Where do those emails go? Do they go right to you?
Some of them do, yeah.
What do you mean some of them?
They just, don't worry about it.
How could some go to you? And so it sounds like they don't go to you.
They do go to me. I can check them. I have the ability to check them. And then I have my email, which is Brianna@limitlessmarketingconcepts.com.
I gotcha. All right, so check them out. And I'm sorry, the website again?
Limitlessmarketingconcepts.com.
All right. I mean, it is kind of long. Limitless Marketing Concepts.
Yeah, but you can also do golimitless.marketing. That's it.
.marketing. I
Yeah.
hate these things. .legal.
Yeah.
.marketing. What are some other annoying ones?
.republican.
.republican.
They
really?
have them.
I didn't know
yeah. It's
anything
kinda
about
crazy.
this.
Yeah, they have. I mean,
Jeez.
I know when we went and bought our domain, they gave us over 112 different domain extension options.
Is that what it's called? Domain extension? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they annoy me.
Yeah, it's like
You
at
know-
first it was just .net, .com, .info, and now it's just .everything. It's anything you want.
You know which one I do like? .com. .com is good. Right?
yeah,
it's just .com.
It's pretty legit.
I mean, we just totally ran out of stuff, huh?
That's it. .com. I mean, .org is also needed, but .com.
Yeah, .org I can deal with.
And
.net,
.gov.
I haven't even gotten to .net yet in my brain.
No, I don't like .net.
Yeah, I
I
don't
feel like
like
if you have a .net, you're not legitimate
Yeah, I don't,
because you
I
couldn't
don't-
afford a .com.
You're listening to Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. My name is Attorney Justin Clark. We're going to talk to you a little bit about IRS debt now because, look, is there any more scary debt than IRS debt? I don't know. You know, there's something about IRS debt, and it's our own government coming after us. You know, there's always the whole, is this criminal? Can they come put me in jail for owing money to the IRS? And these are very reasonable questions that you have. And much like student loans, the IRS also does not have to sue you to come garnish your wages, go into your bank account, take your money, obviously take your tax refunds. You're not going to get a tax refund. Also, it can be bad for your credit as well. Just like student loans can inhibit your ability to buy a home, buy a car. Once they put a tax lien on you, your credit takes a major hit. So people don't want IRS debt. Now, what are your options then? So you're getting that little letter in the mail, you know, the scary one with the green sticky thing on front that says certified mail.
Certified mail.
You know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. And it says, notice of intent to levy, or you owe us this much money. What do you do? Well, the first thing you shouldn't do is put it in the trash. You need to stay out ahead of debt like this because it catches up with you very quickly. The IRS can sometimes lull you to sleep a little bit. And what I mean by that is it might take them a year, 2 years, 3 years even to catch up with you. I really can't even guess why it takes them longer to catch up with some than others, you know, but sometimes it just takes them longer to catch up with you. But the good thing is there are options. One of the bad thing is that now they're even taking away or threatening to take away your passports.
That's true.
They're threatening to take away people's passports, meaning you have a family trip planned to London You know, or you're going to go see the family down in Colombia. You can't go because you owe money to the IRS. This is happening, ladies and gentlemen.
And it's active. I saw this. I don't know if it was because of IRS debt.
Yeah.
I assumed as much. It was a businessman that was traveling
Yeah.
at the airport, and they swiped his passport. And
Yeah.
normally, you know, they swipe it, they look at your
Right.
ID, it works out. His didn't go through.
I know. So it's happening a lot. I mean, I'm getting letters for my clients saying they're threatening to take away their passports.
That is scary.
And I don't like it at all. But again, we do have options. So one of the main things that we like to look at, and you hear these dumb radio commercials talking about get a fresh start, or, you know, these like fresh start initiative things. What that really means at the end of the day is a settlement. Let's try to settle with the IRS. There's a fancy term that we use when it comes to settling with the IRS called an offer and compromise. But make no mistake, that just means settlement, okay? But it's not like willy-nilly you just send in, you know, a letter say, hey, I know I owe you $100,000. Can I pay you $5? It doesn't work like that. I mean, it's really building a financial case in your favor that makes the IRS realize that it's better for them to settle with you than it is to continue to chase you. And once an offer and compromise is accomplished, once it's completed, you literally don't owe the $100,000 anymore. Whether we settle for $5,000, we've seen settlements for $1,000, not $100,000.
What?
And once it's done, it is done. That money is gone. It takes a little bit of time. So we have a program here that we use that sort of mimics what the IRS uses. And we enter all of your information, get all your financial documents, and then our program shoots out a number that it thinks the IRS is going to accept. And then at that point, we send over an offer to the IRS, and the process between you and I takes a couple months. But then once the IRS gets it, they sit on it for 9 months or so before they formally approve it. But our numbers are pretty accurate. I mean, once we have a good number from our system, it is really quite accurate in what the IRS is going to accept. So we pretty much know at that point, within reason, that the IRS is going to accept it. One little caveat of doing an offer and compromise is you have to stay current on your taxes over the next 5 years. So you can't owe them money. You can't make mistakes when it comes to handling your taxes. So you got to be a good boy or girl for the next 5 years, but you just wiped out a ton of tax debt. You don't have to worry about them garnishing your wages or just going into your bank account and taking your money, which they have the right to do, and it's just gone. Another option is called an installment agreement. So what is that? It's a fancy term for payment plan. You know, if you've ever settled something with American Express or a credit card company, they'll say, you know, you can pay us $5,000 today, or you can pay us $300 a month for the next 4 months. This is the same thing with the IRS. If you owe them $50,000, they'll say, okay, we can't do the offer and compromise, but if you pay us $800 a month for the next 3 years, we'll consider the debt settled. And a lot of times, if you're going to do an installment agreement, you're going to want to try to do a penalty abatement before you do that. Penalty abatement means if you owe $100,000 to the IRS, likely 20 or 30 grand of that is penalties. It's not real taxes owed. So before you get into an installment agreement, you want to try to get all the penalties wiped out so you get that number whittled down, so then you can only pay the installment agreement on how much you really, truly owe. So if you do find yourself owing money to the IRS, and this year a lot more people are owing than before because of some of the changes in the tax laws, give us a call here at the firm, 321-282-1055. Other options for dealing with your debt, all on the other side of this break. One more segment ahead of Behind the Law. I drank all my water today, at least. One wasted water bottle, 2 wasted water bottle, 3 wasted water bottle. What's wrong with me? Am I just a wasteful person? And then again, I would drink them if I knew they were from the last couple of days, but then I'm afraid maybe it was a guest or something. Like, you're pretty sure these were mine.
The guest doesn't even sit over there. Of course they're yours.
What about New Brianna? Did she put hers there?
She doesn't drink Justin Clark.
What? She's too good to drink Justin Clark water?
She is.
That is messed up.
She's too good to drink Justin Clark.
That is totally messed up.
Yeah, it's a conversation you guys are going to have to have.
What, she refuses to drink Justin Clark water?
No, she just happens to bring her own water bottle every day.
Whatever. She's one of these, I got to drink a gallon a day or...
No, she just brings, she comes in at 3 though. Okay. So as long as she's here all day. So her 16-ounce water bottle, not one of these, but her 16-ounce will last her. Or maybe she just doesn't like your water.
Doesn't like my water.
Maybe that's it. Plain and simple.
Okay. Are we ready?
Sure.
All right. Back on the air now.
Now back to Behind the Law with Justin Clark, right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
Welcome back to the show. One final segment ahead of Behind the Law with me, attorney Justin Clark. If you have any questions about anything we've discussed today, I'd be happy to answer them at 321-282-1055. We've discussed your student loan debt. We've discussed your IRS debt. And most importantly, we've discussed ways to deal with those scary aspects of life that a lot of us have dealt with and a lot of us are dealing with. I mean, don't be embarrassed. Just get out there and deal with it, and you're going to feel a lot better. You know, when you're rolling your head around at night, you can't sleep because you're stressed out that the government's going to come after you, or you're stressed out about not being able to put food on the family's table. The best way to deal with it is come in, talk to me. I would never charge you to come talk to me about any of these issues. It's totally free. And I'm also not going to guide you in the wrong direction. I'm not going to say you should go this route when I really think that you should go another route, or I think you shouldn't do anything. So you just have to trust me that I'm going to guide you in the direction that I think is absolutely best for you and your family. So we've talked about student loans. We've talked about IRS. Now, the real catch-all for dealing with debt is bankruptcy. And let me demystify this a little bit, because many people will tell you you cannot deal with IRS debt by filing bankruptcy. This line of thinking, whoever told you that, run. You need to run. Head for the hills, so to speak, because this is not true. This is a totally inaccurate statement. You can, C-A-N, you can deal with IRS debt by filing bankruptcy. Here's the general rule of thumb. If your IRS debt is more than 3 years old, it can unequivocally be discharged, gone, zeroed out by filing bankruptcy. There's some caveats in there, right? So that's why you need to talk to a lawyer. There's some caveats about when you actually filed the returns and did they file them for you. So you need to make sure we can discharge it before we actually file. But that's what I'm here for. But I don't want you to ever think that, well, I'm not going to file bankruptcy because I can't wipe out my IRS debt anyway, and that's the biggest part of my debt. We need to talk about it because you can. If it's more than 3 years old, we really need to talk about wiping out your IRS debt by filing bankruptcy. Two main types of bankruptcy for consumers. Brianna, do you know what they are?
Two forms of bankruptcy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Chapter 7 and Chapter 13.
Good job. You have been listening to this program over the last year. How long have we worked together now, by the way?
10 months.
That's it? Mm-hmm. Feels like longer. And I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad thing.
Does it? Oh,
it feels like longer to me.
Feels longer.
I don't really have any good concept of time, though, anyway.
Oh, no, actually, it's 11 months.
I knew it. I knew it was longer.
Yeah, way longer.
Yeah.
My God, that 30 days.
It's pretty cool that you celebrate our anniversary like that. You know exactly how long it's been.
Yeah.
All right, bankruptcy, Chapter 7 versus Chapter 13. These are the two main types of consumer debt. If you're a business owner, you might want to consider a Chapter 11, but that's for a different show. Chapter 7, this is the easy, quick bankruptcy that, it's really the definition of bankruptcy, so to speak. This is the one where 3 months, maybe 4 months in and out, you wipe out all your debt, you just move on with the life. You cash in all the chips, so to speak.
That's the one.
You get rid of all your credit card debt, medical debt, IRS debt that's more than 3 years old, but you can't make a lot of money to file this. You have to pass what's called the means test. So it depends on your expenses, size of family, where you live. But if you're making 70, 80, 100 grand a year, you probably won't qualify, but you still need to look at it because it does depend on family size and expenses and things like that. So don't just think because you make 100 grand a year, there's no way you can qualify. We should look at it first. But you can't have a lot of assets. I mean, you can't have a paid-off beach house or a log cabin up in Maine and think you're going to file Chapter 7 because the trustee is going to want to take that and pay off your creditor. So you can't have a big 32-foot boat down, in Ponce Inlet that's paid off and still file a bankruptcy. You just can't because they're going to want to take that asset and pay off your debts with it. But if you don't have a lot of assets, you're not making a ton of money, a Chapter 7 is the easiest way to go. The biggest question I get is, can I keep my car and can I keep my house? And the answer is almost unequivocally, yes, you can keep your car and your house, absolutely. We're just going to keep paying both of those outside of the bankruptcy. We'll reaffirm the car, maybe reaffirm the house, but you can keep house and car and get rid of your debt. It's really a beautiful thing. And if you're paying, let's say you have 50 grand in credit card debt, I can pretty much assure you you're paying $1,200-$1,400 a month in just minimum payments to these credit cards. That's a big hit. That's sort of post-tax money that you're paying on all this bad debt. And don't tell me you have a lot of room on the cards. Oh, I don't want to file bankruptcy because I want to keep using my cards. That's fine, but you're only using them at $150 a month because you're paying $150, you're using $120, and then the other $300 for interest. You know what I mean? So you're using them once a month and you're just paying for it. At the end of the day, this is not helping you at all. I mean, look, if you do have a lot of room on them, fine, you can maybe do something about it. But most people who come in here don't have a ton of room left on the on their credit line, you know?
True.
Credit. Does it help your credit or does it hurt your credit? Oh, Justin, I'm not filing bankruptcy because it's going to ruin my credit. That's not even true. Most people, first of all, have bad credit when they come in here anyway.
Right.
So when I print out your credit report, it actually shows me what your score is today and what it's going to be in 12 months. And almost every time your score is going to go up by 100, 150 points within 12 months of filing bankruptcy. So while the general rule of thumb in your head is bankruptcy ruins my credit, in actuality, bankruptcy helps your credit. Even if you're current on everything, what you should do is go try to get a mortgage. And the mortgage guy is going to tell you, oh, yeah, looks like you got good credit here, but your debt-to-income ratio is out of whack, so you can't qualify anyway. So wiping out all of this credit card debt is going to actually help your debt-to-income ratio, thereby helping your credit that way as well. My fear is, and I realize that I live in this world and I meet with people every day, so I'm a little skewed in how I feel about it. But I've seen so many people come into my office making decent money, but struggling every month to where at the end of the month, there's literally no money left over. Or we're in the negative, right? And we're only in the negative because we're paying all this old past debt. And I can't stand to see it. I'm seeing families suffer because they hate to say the word bankruptcy. They hate to even come in and talk to me about bankruptcy. And I know when they leave my office, I have helped improve their life because at the end of the month, instead of having negative money, we actually have a little bit of money left over where we can actually go to Wendy's a couple times a month. Whereas before we couldn't because every last penny we had after paying the mortgage, the health insurance, the student loan was going to pay all this old past debt. That wasn't helping us in any way, shape, or form. So my job really is to make your life better financially by the time you leave my office. Sometimes when I meet with people, I even say, I'm not going to represent you unless you promise me that when you leave here, you're going to feel less stress knowing that we're sort of taking over at this point and you're not going to have to worry about it anymore. And I think that takes a load off of people's shoulders. It really does. And it's important to me that you're not as stressed when you leave my office as you were when you came in. I mean, do you understand that financial stress really creates medical problems for people? I mean, the stress that people live in every day, and it's day and night. You can't really sleep when you're feeling so financially strapped. And I get it. I have a family. I have 2 kids. I have a wife at home. And I feel incredibly responsible for their financial well-being. So I understand what you're feeling. And when you feel like you really can't provide for them, it makes you feel terrible and it creates so much stress. So the word for the day is bankruptcy is not a bad word. Bankruptcy often can save you $2,000 a month on all of these negative credit cards that you have, but also help your credit at the same time. So before you just dismiss bankruptcy as an option, you really need to come talk to us about it. 321-282-1055. Information's also on the website, youhavepower.com. Another quick tidbit on bankruptcy is a Chapter 13. Chapter 13 is more of a repayment plan. But our job really is to try to pay back as little as we can over time to the unsecured creditors. In the meantime, if you have a house, even if you have a house that's in foreclosure, maybe you even have a house that's in foreclosure with a sale date looming, oftentimes we can file that Chapter 13 and do a modification on the home through the mediation modification program and the bankruptcy program. So now we've saved the house. They can go down to a 2% interest rate too. So now we've saved the house. We've lowered the mortgage payment. We've gotten rid of every other piece of debt that you had. We've gone from being a real stressed out family to sitting pretty. At 2% interest rate, you're paying half what you would be paying in rent for the same house with no other debt. We've gone from having negative money at the end of the month to having $2,000-$3,000 left over for savings or left over for maybe enjoying life a little bit. The beautiful Brianna, good job today.
Thank you.
I can't believe this is our first show ever, just me and you.
I know.
You did very, very well.
Appreciate it.
And I don't know much, but I do know one little thing.
What's that?
I will see you right back tomorrow night on ESPN 580 Orlando. All right. Thanks for
Bye,
watching.
y'all.
We appreciate it.